Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, and 401 South Salina Street is where you'll find Cafe Cubal in Syracuse, as well as 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse in their drive-through location. I am ecstatic to be picture in picture with somebody who has that orange L on his chest right now. This gentleman, I met him years and years ago when he was coaching up at OCC for the women's basketball program, getting them to be ranked in number one, number two, third in the nation, top three, many times, getting into the tournament, doing an incredible job inside of their conference, in their region, in the NJCAA, and beyond that. And then he called me up and said, Dan, I'm taking a step aside. And I said, all right, Mike, I'll see you soon. And then last year got connected with the JV program at Liverpool and has now been named the Liverpool Warriors varsity girls basketball head coach. I'm not surprised that he's back here in the head coaching realms, and I always thought he would be. And at the same time, I'm so happy he got to spend some quality time with his family over the last couple of years. So with that being said, I am more than proud to welcome to the show Mr. Mike Wheeler. Mike, how are you?
Good, Dan. Thanks for having me.
You know, Mike, it's in your blood. It's who you are. I know we've talked about it off the air, but what did this past year of kind of helping out a little bit, but not having to, take over a varsity program or a collegiate program? What did this past year do where you still got a feel for it, but you had some more time to yourself?
It was different, and just to be able to, it's probably been the last 2 years just to be able to, be around with the family, a lot more spending time. The boys, all three of my boys are playing ice hockey still, and they're full-fledged into their season, started back in September. So we're doing a lot of that. So the last 2 years pretty much consisted of that, traveling and so on and so forth. The weekends are pretty jam-packed around the Wheeler household. But it's been a great opportunity to spend a lot of time with my family. But opportunities present itself, and it's a great feeling to be back as a head coach and my own program, and I'm excited about the new endeavors.
Yeah, and how did this come about? Because obviously you're on campus at Liverpool and you're doing some things last year with JV. Bring me into how the dominoes fell in the conversation with Ari Lieberman to take over this varsity girls program.
Oh no, just conversation came about where position came available, and talked a little bit about it, and I accepted the position, and it was a pretty quick, simple conversation, and it being at Liverpool last year, and being involved in the program and so on and so forth like that, it was a real easy transition and simple transition, I guess, because most of the girls that were junior varsity or either up on varsity, and being the assistant varsity coach last year, I knew most of the entire varsity team, so it's comfortable, and it was easily a position that I would have loved to accept, and did.
And when you look at that, like you said, assistant on the varsity staff last year and then working with JV, just what that does for you to immediately have success as the girls varsity head coach now, because you knew a lot of the players on the varsity team and the JV girls that were coming up. So you've had this opportunity to build and foster relationships instead of just coming in as a new face totally. You have laid a foundation, just what that can do for the program.
Yeah. Again, just to follow up what you said, yeah, it's a comfort zone, I think, for the players, and they know, um, we pretty much ran very similar stuff that was ran at OCC, offensively, defensively, same concepts and so on and so forth like that. So it's something that kind of, blended it easily for them to pick up. So the whole transition, it's very easy, and I'm excited for that. And kids know pretty much stuff that we did last year. So there's not a lot of, there's always teaching new things and new plays and, stuff like that. But that's stuff that comes along with any team. But, the basics and so on and so forth that we like to run, the backbone of our program, the transition oriented offense that I ran here at OCC, is same thing's going to be implemented at Liverpool. It's a great transition into that.
And for you, Mike, when you look at this, I know we talked off the air about you saying, I got my own program again. Just what this program feels like specifically to take it over. I mean, you had your own program at OCC for women's basketball, but to take over this program, what of its history and what you feel when it comes to being a Liverpool Warrior, just what this does and why this is special.
It's one of the biggest athletic programs in the area. What I'm excited for is the opportunity to bring it to the next level. Of course, you immediately think of winning a sectional title, and having 6 regional titles and playing in, many Elite Eights and a couple Final Fours in the national title game here at the college JUCO level. It's a challenge and an opportunity that I look forward to at Liverpool to, help bring them a sectional title. That's the big focus right now.
What can you say about AD Ari Lieberman? I've had him on the show a bunch of times, gotten to know him over these past few years. How would you describe the department that he's leading?
Ari's great. He's a great leader. He runs great programs. And I'm excited to be part of that, and to have someone there that supports all the programs and someone there to, lead as well. So all programs have great leaders, and that's what Ari is. So I'm excited to be able to work with him.
Mike Wheeler here, in a couple more minutes on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, taking the job as Liverpool Warriors girls varsity basketball head coach. We have spoken many times for many years, and we've talked about the importance of family. I remember having you on the show when one of your sons had, I think, pulled off, it was like a doorknob, or like it was a handle to one of the shelving units or something like that. And the house was crazy. Just what you could say about, like you said, they're full into hockey season, what it's like to be a dad of 3 and to be a husband and to have navigated these past couple of years, because I know COVID gave you time to kind of sit back and say to yourself, do I want to do this right now? Are there other things I'd like to focus on? And you spent a lot more time with family. So just what that life has been like, and how you go into this new chapter of your life already knowing how to juggle and navigate, if you've learned anything over these past couple of years on how to make it all work together.
I'm a firm believer in that old saying that behind every good man, there's a great woman. And, my wife's been there, supporting me for, 20 years, 18, 20 years coaching basketball. And, I think she was a big part of, she married a coach. She married a husband, she married a father, but she also, I think, deep down and deep rooted inside me will always be the basketball portion, the basketball coach portion of me that will never go away. And I think in the past 2 years, she saw, I was lost a bit. You don't have something that you're accustomed to waking up every day. I mean, it's probably like anybody that retires from their job after 35 years. You get up that first day and you don't know what you're going to do with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think when the basketball season started at OCC, and I stepped away, it took a while, and it was able to do a little bit that I enjoy doing, such as coaching JV and being part of a program, so on and so forth, helping out with one of my former players. So it was nice to be involved again. But I don't think you'll ever have that full feeling of being involved as it would be having your own program. And I think she said the same thing. She said, I just don't think you're the same person. You have to be that leader because that's who you were. So she really was accepting through this whole thing. And, I owe a lot to her being there, being supportive throughout, because I think she knows this makes me happy. And it's something that I enjoy doing. I love the teaching aspects, and I think the other thing, my boys grew up in the gym with me here at OCC. They were little, and now they're growing up a little bit more. So they really never understood the aspect of, or the reason why I stepped away. They, their whole question was, why? Why did you stop? And I said, it's, because of you guys. You guys are playing all these sports and playing hockey, and being able to spend some time watch you play a little bit. I said, I'll go back someday. Did I know it was going to happen this soon? Probably not. But I think the one thing with them is they're really excited to be back and come back to the gym a little bit. I'm excited to have them in the gym with me. I've already brought them to a few practices, around the gym a little bit, and meet some people over at Liverpool. So they're excited to be there. And I think that's where they like to see their dad the most, is where they're, what they know of him when they were little. This is what he did. I remember my, 6-7 years ago, my 2-3-year-old was at a championship game in the finals, and he ran across the middle of the floor during a transition break. He almost got killed, but those are the things that, I miss, and I'm glad that they're back, and I'm glad that my boys will have an opportunity to be involved with their dad coaching basketball again.
Yeah. And the Liverpool Warriors, like you said, what this does, and this type of program in our community, to have you, I mean, Mike, we were spoiled to have you as many years as we have at OCC. And now we get to be spoiled to have you at Liverpool High School. I told you selfishly, your decision to come back and coach is good for the both of us, because I get to promote a good man and a good person and one heck of a coach. So I know that coming up this Tuesday, November 22nd at 7 p.m., we'll be at Avicoli's to feature you and your student athletes and the season that's coming up. And more than anything else, I want to congratulate a friend. You were first no, I didn't have to wait for anybody to get in touch with me. When you stepped away at OCC, you're the one that got in touch. When you went to Liverpool to be an assistant, you got in touch. And as soon as you got the job here, you got in touch as well. So I want to thank you more than anything else for our friendship, our connection, our bond, and the fact that you have always been good to me, which beyond wins and losses will mean more to me than anything.
Well, thanks, Dan. I appreciate everything and the support that you've, given all my programs throughout my coaching career, and the many conversations we had. I'm always excited to talk with you about, life too. You have those great, when you look at close friends and you have good conversations, but you also professional friends, and you can have conversations about your professional work as well. So I really appreciate everything and the support.